Right, welcome to the first video on factorising. Okay, so we're going to look at, first of all, factorising by common factors. But I think first we need to discuss what factorising is. Okay, because it's kind of sounds like a strange word. You've dealt with factors before, but what is factorising? Now, breaking brackets, we already know what to do. Okay, so we've got a number outside the bracket, we multiply it by both terms inside the bracket, and the bracket's broken. When we do that in reverse, when we put an expression back into brackets again, that's what we call factorising. So it's really useful if you can think about it like being breaking brackets but backwards in reverse. Alright, so let's look at the first example. Okay, so we have 3x plus 9. Now if we look at this one above here, right, we need to look and see what numbers can I take out of this that would or could go outside the bracket. Right, so what number could I take out of 3x plus 9 that would go outside the bracket? Well, if you look, you've got 3x and 9. Now, both of these numbers in the 3 times table, so 3 will be the highest common factor here. We're always looking to have the biggest number outside the bracket that we can. Alright, so we've got 3x plus 9, so we put 3 outside. Now, what would need to go inside the bracket to give us 3x? That would need to be x, wouldn't it? So we would go 3 times x gives us 3x. And what would need to go inside the bracket here to give us a 9? Well, if we look again, we see 3 times something gives us 9. That would be 3 as well. And that's it, factorised. Right, let's look at the next one. So we have 5x take away 45. Now straight away you should be seeing that 5 and 45, they're both in the 5 times table. So this may be quite an easy one. So we can put 5 outside the bracket. And then we ask, well, what needs to go inside here to make 5x if I was to break the bracket back again? And that would be an x, obviously. The sign in the middle stays the same for just now. And then what needs to go here to make that 45 if I was to break the bracket again? Well, it would need to be a 9, wouldn't it? Because then 5 times 9 gives us a 45. I love factorising questions, and the reason why is because you can really never get one wrong. Because all you need to do is once you know how to break brackets and once you know how to factorise, you can then check your own answers to the questions. So we should always be able to go 3 times x and 3 times 3 to get 3x plus 9 back again. So you can actually just check your own answers. Okay? A little bit harder this time, because if you'll notice it's just this number that's coming down for these two, and that isn't always the case. Okay? So if you've noticed that as a little pattern, that always doesn't happen. Right, so this time we've got 14x and 16. Now, the 14 times table, 16 is not in it, 16 is not a factor of 14, so the biggest number that we can get that can go outside the bracket in this case is a 2. Now what would 2 need to multiply by to give us 14x? That would need to be 7x. And we need to multiply by 8 to get the 16. And the sign in the middle, just for just now, is going to stay the same, and that's that factorised. A useful check to be able to do with these guys. See if you can't factorise any more of the thing that's inside the bracket, the expression that's inside the bracket. That's it, what we call fully factorised. It's completely done right to the end. Okay, so if I show you this one just now, okay, don't copy this bit down. If you're trying to copy along with me, don't copy this bit down. Now I can take 2 out of here, and I can have 3x take away 9. Now that is factorised technically, but it's not fully factorised because I can still factorise this. It's really similar to the first one here. I can still factorise that. What I need to do, just going to dirty my hands here, is look for the highest number that can come out here. Alright? Now if I look at this, I see 6x and 18. The biggest number that is in the 6 times table and the 8 times table is factors of both is going to be 6. Then I've got x minus 3 in the bracket. And if we look here, that's then fully factorised. So this is the correct answer. This is what's fully factorised. Okay? Right, taking it up one level, right? We sometimes get letters as factors. And at your level of maths now, those ones are pretty simple. Okay? So remember, go back, pause the video, copy in the examples, watch me again, make sure you fully understand what's happening. Alright? And then we'll look at these ones. Now, with letters as factors, what we can do is, because we've got x in both terms, x can actually come outside the bracket as well. But if you look, we've got 4 and we've got 16. So the biggest term that we can take out of the bracket, in this case, is 4x. Now, what do we need to times 4x by to get 4x squared? Well, we need to times it by x. And what do we need to times 4x by to get 16x? We just need to times that by 4. Right? So if you write that down and then we're to multiply that out again, let's just check it. So we've got 4x times x gives us 4x squared, so that's correct. And 4x times 4 gives us 16x, so that one's correct as well. So remember, you can always go back and check your work, which is really good about factorising. Alright, next one, we've got 3y squared minus 18y. So if we look, we've got y in each term, so y can definitely come out of the bracket, but wait a minute, 3 and 18, 3 is a factor of 18, so we can look at that and we can bring a 3 outside as well. Okay, so if we bring out 3y, then all we need to do is multiply by y to give us a 3y squared. And then we need to multiply by, now, 6. Because 3 times 6 is 18, so obviously 3y times 6 is 18y, and that's that one factorised fully again. Okay, so this video should give you an introduction to factorising by common factor. Tomorrow, remember, I'm not going to be in class, but I want you to attempt to sheet as best you can, and we'll catch up with anything you're unsure of, or anybody who's not had access to the video on Tuesday. Okay? Remember, tomorrow night, I would like you to go on to Sophia, and I'm going to put a wee self-evaluation of all the different algebra topics we've covered so far, which video was the best, and so on, and which you feel you understood the best. So I'd be really grateful if you'd go on and fill that in for me. Okay? So remember, pause the video, rewind it back if you want to, and I will see you on Tuesday, hopefully with common factor factorising nailed. Okay, well done guys, and I'll see you on Tuesday.